summer's day in the month of May, a burly bum come a-hiking. He was walking down the line through the sugar cane. He was looking for his liking, and as he strolled along, he sang a song.
Welcome to this episode of Junk Food on the Road. Today we're going to talk about
Pakistan.
Now, I don't know if people listening to this know this, but we actually lived in Pakistan.
Yeah, we just got back. I'm not sure. Not sure if I've ever officially announced that on anything. Probably, maybe on the blog or something. But
yeah, we were living in Pakistan for a couple of years.
It's an interesting place to live.
Yeah.
The food there is fascinating. There is good food there, but then there's also sort of not good food.
Yeah. I mean, it was okay. I really liked the curries and the barbecue.
Yeah, there's some good stuff that way.
Like, Pakistanis are definitely meat eaters, unlike Indians that are not.
Yeah, if you want to
if
you want to imagine sort of, this is sort of a difficult thing for people to sort of compare Pakistan and Indian food. A lot of the food that you probably eat in Indian restaurants might be closer to Pakistani because of the amount of meat in it. If you're eating a beef dish in an Indian restaurant, chances are there's some Pakistani influence in it, or it will be similar to a Pakistani food.
In fact, butter chicken was invented in Delhi, India, but by a Pakistani.
I don't think Pakistan existed when he...
No, it did. When India and Pakistan parted, when they went through partition in 1947, he was living in Peshawar, close to the Afghanistan border. And he was Sikh, so he decided he wanted to live on the Indian side of the border, so he packed up his restaurant and moved to Delhi, and then, inspired by Peshawari chicken, invented butter chicken.
There you go. So I mean, it's definitely an interesting place. There's also where we were mostly in Islamabad, which is a very sort of international place. So you had chains like McDonald's, Hardee's, Pizza Hut, and things like that. So, and also in a lot of the restaurants, there was like a lot of French cuisine that was kind of popular. There was Chinese.
Lebanese cuisine was quite popular.
Lebanese was quite popular. So just that particular area was very sort of multicultural because there were so many people working in that area from other countries. So they sort of it was actually interesting while we were living there. I had considered the idea of maybe I should take a Pakistani cooking class. They don't exist. Nobody teaches how to cook Pakistani food. And if you go to like bookstores and look for Pakistani cookbooks, there really aren't that many.
We have one.
But we had to search them out. If you go to a bookstore in Pakistan, you're going to find a lot more, particularly in English. I mean, I don't know, maybe in Urdu, there's more Pakistani cookbooks, but in English we could only find a couple of, and there was a lot of sort of international cookbooks.
I'm trying to think. I'm thinking right now about some of the sweets that they had in Pakistan, which is very similar to Indian sweets, like gulab jamun, kheer, like that sort of custardy pudding thing, barfi, like the little cakes, jalebi, which is Chris's favorite.
I gotta say, I'll put this out, and just because it's out of the way. The best jalebi I've ever had was in Pakistan, and that was in the place that was, what was that? It wasn't
Lahore. It was
Andaz. Andaz in Lahore has the jalebi. We might have mentioned this in our Indian junk food on the road. Jalebi is sort of this deep fried. It kind of looks like a pretzel sometimes, but kind of more random, and then it's generally covered in like a sweet syrup. The great thing about this particular one is the strands were super, super thin, so it was nice and crunchy. Didn't really have that sort of difficult to bite throughness, and it was just had just the right amount of sort of a nice light syrup, and it was really tasty. Oh my god, I'm not sure if anybody listening to this will ever have the opportunity to go to Lahore because it's a little difficult to get to. But if you do, it's a wonderful place, and there's 2 restaurants in Lahore. They call it on.
There's more than 2 restaurants.
But there's two particular restaurants on Food Street. This is the New Food Street.
New Food Street. Yes.
One is called the Cuckoo's Den.
Cuckoo's Den.
Cuckoo's Den, and the other one is Andaz, and they have these rooftop patios that look out into this beautiful mosque.
And towards the old fort.
Yeah, and towards the old fort. And again, if you go to Andaz, get the jalebi for dessert. it'll be the best you've ever had, I think.
It's super fresh, for one.
Yeah, I think they make it per order.
They make it and bring it to you right away.
Yeah, it is like warm. It was wonderful.
And I don't know if we mentioned this in our Indian thing, but when you are eating at a restaurant in Pakistan or India, you there's like some kind of, you get naan bread or roti or something, like, you know, like roti's like that little round flat bread, and which is really the bread of choice over naan in Pakistan and India. But you get it fresh, like they make it as you go. So you just order one per person, and then as you finish it, you just look up at them and sort of like wave your finger, and they bring you another one per person.
Yeah, so it
or
stays
another
warm.
one or two. So it's fresh off the grill when you get it.
Yeah. Well, although you said that roti is sort of the bread of choice, I love the naan bread in Pakistan. It is so good. Like, there's such these amazing varieties. It's a lot thicker than naan bread that you're used to. It's almost like a yeast leavened bread, but thinner. And it tends to have like.
But it's a heavy bread. It's solid.
It's a very heavy bread.
I like the whirly one. I don't remember what it's called.
Did we get that in India?
We got it in Lahore at the Indian restaurant in the hotel.
Yeah, but the one I like just the regular naan, and often you get it with like butter and garlic, but you can also get it with sesame seeds, and sometimes you can get it with like sort of a sweet type fillings. Really, really good. I like them. A lot of people complained about them that, you know, I had sort of talked to, and they would be like, oh, it's not as good. It's different than Indian. It definitely is. But it's almost closer to like a real bread that you would be used to, like a Western bread.
And there is a bigger variety.
And there's a huge variety. You go to a restaurant, there's like, you can see like, you know, most would have 3 different kinds. Some would just have the list, like a little section just for different naan breads. And the great thing is you can get rotis, you can get, I can't remember what that one that is sort of in a circle. It's almost like a little cyclone of bread, and that was really good too.
I'm thinking about salty snacks. I'm trying to remember. I mean, we've been home for almost 3 months now, so.
Salt. Well, I mean, they have a lot of salty snacks similar to what you would have in India or in actually a good matching point. I don't know if India would be the best matching point as much as Sri Lanka. I found a lot of similar things in Sri Lanka that I would find in Pakistan, which, you know, separated from India as well. So, you know, there's sort of that same sort of thing. But a lot of sort of spicy nuts with like little sort of crackery things and deep fried bits inside it and all that.
And of course they had like all of the chickpea snacks that you find in India.
Yeah.
Like the sev and the chura and the...
Yeah, and that would be sort of the same sort of thing. Tend to be very spicy as well.
That's right.
You know, I had them a couple times and regretted it.
And you can get potato chips there that have special Pakistan flavors.
Yeah, they have. It's called Chat Street, and it's basically based off street food. And I tried several varieties of chips. Some of them were actually pretty good. Some of them were surprisingly good. You know, considering I actually didn't really like the street food that it was based off of very much, but the chips were fantastic.
Yeah.
So.
And then we can't not mention the tea. Tea is a culture.
Yeah, tea is
in Pakistan.
Tea is not a drink in Pakistan. Tea is a way of communicating, a way of saying something, a way of thanking someone.
And green tea is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And in Peshawar, which I know you never went to, but in Peshawar they have a special way of making green tea that makes it taste completely different. And for the life of me, I can't remember what they call it now. But it is a special Peshawari way to make green tea. Like, they take tea very seriously, and it's not just green tea. There's also masala chai, which, I mean, if you just ask anybody in a Pakistani restaurant to make you Pakistani tea, they'll make you that. And it's a little bit different than the Indian chai. And then there's Kashmiri tea, which is a pink tea that's got like ground almonds in it and some spices, and
it was a little weird, but it was definitely unique.
Yeah.
You know, it was one of those things where the other thing I noticed is a lot of Pakistanis do like a milk tea.
Yes, and ordering tea in a restaurant can sometimes be really confusing because they want to know if you want it double boiled or like there's like all these words, and what they're asking is if you want it with made with water or made with hot milk.
Mm-hmm. The hot milk tea is actually quite nice.
It is, and they actually steep it in the hot milk.
Yeah, it's actually really good. It's very nice if you're either cold or if you're not feeling well. Something, I don't know if it helps you feel better, but it mentally sort of calms you down. And it's interesting with the hot milk. Obviously, it's kind of soothing, like makes you go to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's good. I enjoyed it.
I could use some right now.
Yeah, I remember we used to get some at our local eating establishment. And, you could just ask. The best thing about I remember about the milk tea in our local eating establishment, this doesn't have anything to do with anything public as much as this sort of one place, but it used to be their tea that we would drink. Like, it wasn't, like, that was something that wasn't necessarily on the menu.
No, it wasn't.
But if you asked for it, they would sort of pour you some of their tea, which is exactly very much so the culture at Pakistan and tea. Anywhere you go, you're offered tea. If you're invited to a king's house, you will be offered tea. But if you are at the side of a road and there was one time where we bought bananas off the side of the road from this one guy who, is just, is a simple banana sales guy, and he was so happy to have us being his customers that he invited us to have some tea.
Yeah. And if you go into a shop, and any shop that isn't a grocery store, where you're just sort of in and out, you are going to be offered a cup of tea to sit and have some tea. Carpet shops, tailors, trinket shops, like they all want to share tea with you. And
it's very much a thing.
And one of the things that was really great about Pakistan was it didn't matter who you were or who the person was. If there was any form of relationship whatsoever, including just a hello by the side of the road every day, if you caught them at their tea time, which also usually included a snack, you would be offered to join them. And that included the people who were digging ditches that make $30 a month. They would, open up their lunch boxes, their tea boxes for you, and say, would you like to join me for some tea? Would you like some of my tea? And of course, we always would refuse that. I mean, they're making $30 a month. But the kindness and the welcoming and the generosity of everyday Pakistani people was just incredible.
Yeah, think of it this way. Think of it like if you went into like any store. Like say you went to your corner store.
Or say you were walking past the construction
worker,
site.
Yeah, a construction worker, and
while they're having their break.
And they said, "Would you like a coffee?"
Yeah.
That's what it's
like. Would you like some of my coffee?
Yeah, or we are having coffee. Would you like some? And just anything like that. Like if you offer, if you're friendly to anybody, there's this generosity that comes back that I've never seen anywhere else, and it's just
incredible hospitality.
Incredible, just as far completely, and it's not that they want something in return. They just it's a thing.
Just you have a relationship, even though it's just a hello relationship. They're having tea. They want you to, as their friend, join them in the tea. Yeah,
there's a very cultural thing about sharing, and you found that just about everywhere you went.
We went to a bazaar once. It was a really big one with different areas of the country, and we just happened to go by into the poorest province of Pakistan had a booth there, and they were selling some of their handicrafts, and we just happened to walk up to the handicraft booth in the area from this particular area of Pakistan, and they were sitting there eating their lunch, which was a very modest lunch. It was basically chapati and onions, because that's what they can afford. And because we were standing there and looking at their handicrafts that they had made and were selling, they were all sitting behind their counter and eating their lunch, and they're going, come and eat the lunch with us. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't, sort of like it's cool, it's white people, let's go. It's like, no, this is what you do. You offer hospitality if somebody is around you when you are having a meal.
Yeah. And, salespeople do it as well. It's more than just a selling thing. It is definitely like a bonding thing. Like, that's one thing you notice. You really sort of, anytime we went in anywhere, it was water or tea.
Yeah.
Were just offered to us. Even it was wonderful. It was really great. It's hard to define India versus Pakistan as far as the types of spices and foods. There are a lot of similar foods, but the delivery in a lot of places is very different.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and Pakistani curries and barbecue. Well, there's not much barbecue in India.
No.
But the spice combinations are different.
The best way to describe the spice combination differences, I say, as far as I found that in India there was more. When you eat something, you can taste a particular spice or a combination of spices, whereas in Pakistan it was a mix.
Yeah.
It was a little.
And sometimes it was good, and sometimes it wasn't.
Yeah. For a Western palate, Pakistan spices can be overwhelming. Not necessarily in the heat, but just in the there's so much going on here. It's kind of crazy.
It can be.
It can be, and it's like I said, for a Western palate, particularly, a lot of people are sort of used to a single flavor or something. Mm-hmm. You don't get that at all. You just get this blast of kind of insanity in your mouth, which, as you said, can be amazing sometimes, and sometimes it's oh my god, this just tastes like everything.
And if you want to make it, you can just buy a little box of the spice mix in the supermarket.
Yeah, there are actually, and then we found them in North America.
Yeah, we did.
Was it Sean? Sean makes
the brand name.
Sean's a brand name, and I've seen it at Walmart a few times. And they make these spice packages, and they were exactly what we would find in Pakistan. And the one thing is, if you look at the instructions, they require a lot of oil.
Don't use that as much oil as they say.
I mean, I'm sure that's the correct way.
I'm sure Pakistani people can make that work, but I could never make that work.
Yeah, we would always end up with an inch and a half of oil on the outside, on the top of our dishes.
It was we were terrible at making those.
Yeah, but they're worth a try. Definitely use them as a spice and just sort of, use the amount of oil and a heat. If they say to add extra heat, just remember that thing is heated already.
Yeah.
The extra heat is just extra heat. They
are spicy, and they are spicy.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you can think of about Pakistan?
There are areas of Pakistan that are total jungle. So if you watch that CIA show that spent a season in Islamabad doesn't look like that at all. It's like trees and jungle and mongoose and wild boars and jackals and monkeys and extreme humidity. It's
not rocks and desert everywhere.
Nope.
There is rocks and desert in Pakistan.
Sure.
But there's also the Himalayas are in Pakistan.
Beautiful mountains.
Some of the highest, I think it's the most highest peaks in the world.
I think 7 of the 10 highest peaks in the world
are in Pakistan. So you're talking mountainous areas with trees and everything like that, and so
I might be wrong about the number, but
yeah, but it's absolutely beautiful, and it's difficult for a lot of people to get there and to travel there, but if you really can get the chance, it's beautiful, and really enjoy it for all it's worth. And
do your research about the security situation.
Yes,
first,
we will say, do not just go there, if you happen to go there for business in a particular situation, great, but if not, it's not so easy to get into, unfortunately. But maybe someday it will be, and in which case, if it ever does ease up and open up,
it's just gorgeous, though.
Yeah.
Even the more dry areas, some of them are just beautiful. I mean, the cities, look like they need a bit of brushing up.
Yeah.
We say.
And if you're the normal Western traveler, you're gonna get a lot of culture shock.
Yeah, and a lot of Montezuma's Revenge.
Yeah, the food.
Don't drink the water.
And watch fruit and vegetables.
Don't open your mouth in the shower.
Don't eat the salad at a salad bar.
Never. Not even at the schmancy hotels.
Yeah,
especially at the schmancy hotels.
Yeah, where you're most tempted to eat, then don't.
Yeah, no, don't do it.
But I don't want to end on Pakistan on a bad note.
No, it was very good. Beautiful, great hiking. There are areas that are in the sort of mid ranges of the Himalayas that are relatively safe to go to for hiking.
There's even a restaurant in part of those areas. The Monal.
Oh no, that's the very lower part.
That's the lower part, but you can climb up a hill.
And salt. So-called Himalayan salt is actually mined in Pakistan in the salt ranges. It's not actually the Himalayas. It's quite downhill from the Himalayas, but still very interesting.
Yeah. I think we can end on that, because I think Himalayan salt is a great way to end on this.
Yep. Himalayan salt is Pakistani, halfway between the Himalayas and the coast. No, actually, no, it's closer to the Himalayas than the coast.
It's much closer to the Himalayas.
It's about, from the very first foothills of the Himalayas, it's about a 2-hour drive
down
across the plains and then into the escarpment that is the Salt Range.
And the second largest salt mine is there.
Second largest salt mine in the world, second only to the Sifto salt mine in Goderich, Ontario.
Yay, Canada. So I think we can end on Pakistan.
Yeah. The Himalayan salt's yummy.
That's awesome.
And it's really good for your health if you have a whole room built out of it. But don't believe those New Age stores.
Yeah, but it's great to cook on.
Totally great to cook on. You can get cooking slabs, and you heat them up on fire, and you can cook stuff, and it takes on the flavor of the salt.
And stays really clean because nothing lives on salt. Nothing lives in salt. So, okay.
That's it.
Well, thanks for listening to another episode of Junk Food on the Road.
Chris won. We went 20 minutes.
Yay, 20 minutes.
I said 10 because I'm going to bed.
Okay. As always, you can follow us on YouTube and SoundCloud if you want to get new podcasts whenever, or you can go to www.candycritic.org/junkfood, JUNKFUD, and you'll find new episodes of this as well as our other podcasts and our show, Chris, Why Would You Eat That? And of course, you can go to @CandyCritic on Twitter and follow us on Twitter, or go to www.candycritic.org, find links to all of our other social media, and find out what's happening, what's new, and all the kind of fun candy news that we'd like to talk about all the time. So thanks for listening.
Good night, Chris.
Good night, Chris.
Day in the month of May, a burly bum come a-hiking. He was walking down the lane through the sugar cane. He was looking for his liking. And as he strolled along, he sang a song of the land of middle can of honey, where a bum can stay for many a day and he won't need any money. Rock Candy Mountain, there's a land that's fair and bright. The handouts grow, but the hushes and they sleep out every night. Where the boxcars all are empty, sun shines every day. I'm a-going away where there ain't no snow or the sleet don't fall at the wind and don't blow on the big rock candy mountain, on the big rock candy mountain. Hey! That's enough of that. That's enough. Whoa, 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 whoa. On the big rock candy mountain, you never have to change your socks. And little streams of alcohol come a-trickling through the rocks. All the railroad bulls at the tip of their hats, and the railroad bulls are all blind. There's a little lake of stew and a whiskey too. You can paddle all around it in your big canoe on the big rock candy mountain. On the big rock candy mountain. Hey! That's enough. That's enough. Big rock candy mountain, all the jails are made of tin, and you can bust right out again as soon as they toss you in. There ain't no short and no shovels, axes, saws, or blades. Where they hung on a nail, the inventor of a jail. Where they hung the jerk who invented work. where they boiled in oil the inventor of toil, where they hung on a nail the inventor of a jail on a big rock candy mountain, on the big rock candy mountain, on the big rock candy mountain. Play! Cigarette trees and the soda water fountain, where the bluebird sings and the lemonade springs. Up on the big rock candy mountain, on that big rock candy mountain.